What's good? What's good? What's goody? It's your buzzing cousin Ghost Boogie, and it's it's Danny fucking Chaz.
Danny fucking Chaz. Right, start again. What's good? What's good? What's good? It's your buzzing cousin Ghost Boogie.
Oh yeah,
this is...
hold on. What's good? What's good? What's goody? It's your buzzing cousin Ghost Boogie, and it's
I'm Danny Chaz. How we all doing? Hope we're good. Hope we're great.
It's Blurred Reality Weekly. Yeah, man. So, hey, welcome in, everyone. Welcome in to Blurred Reality Weekly. This is our new format. We are coming to you live from Denver, Colorado, and London. We're only about like an hour late compared to what we really wanted to start. Yeah, we were telling people like, you know what I'm saying, an hour earlier, but you know, shit happened.
Work got in the way today. I had a big long day today and it stretched further than I put. It stretched so long people sent out a search party for me. True story. And Boogie's got his stuff, Danny's got his stuff. I mean, it's 10 o'clock, it's Friday. It's Friday night. I've got that Friday feeling. I'm in a fucking good mood, mind my French. And I got a Stella. Cheers, everybody. Grab your favourite plant, grab your favourite liquid.
I've got my favorite plant right here in my hand. You've got your favorite liquid in your hand. And then actually, I've got one of my favorite liquids in my hand, too. Look, man. Hey, Logan Paul, even though I don't like you, fucks with us, man, because, you know, I support your this strawberry banana prime is the shit, man. Ain't nothing bad in it for you. It's only 15 calories. I hate. It's the worst thing ever to take calories and put calories in, empty calories in by just drinking fluids, you know what I mean? Unless you're drinking a Stella, and you know that's you're getting all the essential herbs and vitamins that you need in your Stella.
Yeah, man, it's part of my 5 a day. While we're on the polls, hey Jake Paul, I'm still waiting, sir. Anytime, me and you.
Jake or Logan, which one?
I'll take them both, one at a time, both together. I don't give a fuck. Let's get it. Yeah.
Impulsive, holler at us, man.
Yeah, we're one of you against it with Danny Chaz. I'm here. You know, let's have it.
I'm gonna tell you, dude. Like I've had a lot of pain go away with the neck surgery. Right, it's been positive for the most part. Right. Last night during the sesh, I reached down and grabbed this off the floor, and it was full. And I
mean, that's half a gallon you got there.
Oh yeah, man. This is 60 ounces plus all this aluminum.
And that weighs. That's not light.
Well, I snatched it up off the ground just all net, and I felt something like in my actual neck, like go crack, and it sent a pain down, and I've got a pain back that I haven't had since surgery. So that's kind of fucking with me. And I'm like, so I went to physical therapy today, and it was the physical therapist that doesn't normally work on my neck, but works on my hip and my back and all that stuff, right? And I told her what was going on, and she hooked me up and helped me out on my, she helped me out on my neck too. But I'm like, man, Danny, this is pissing me off, man. Like in my mind, once I get a surgery and I'm bionic, I think I'm indestructible. You know what I mean? Like,
not yet. Not yet. I mean, when you get that one in your neck, you get and then you get like the it's like a weird noise, like a.
Oh, dude. Well, I get every time, like right now, just doing this, just doing that, and doing that as Rice Krispies. I hear nothing but Rice Krispies every time.
Same as me, yeah.
It's like
I got arthritis in my neck and shoulder, so like you say, you feel it, don't you?
Oh yeah, you do, man. I mean, they let you know.
Yeah,
it lets you know.
I got mine from my job. Thanks, job.
I got mine from doing a lot of life, which was a job. Man, so Danny, you mentioned something at the start. You said there was a search party.
Oh yeah, I was at work and I didn't realise that the site closed at 5, and I was still working there. And it's a site; it's like three square miles. It's huge, this place, and it's like just lots and lots of scaffolding and houses, rows and rows and rows of houses.
Mm-hmm.
Will make it out of ticky tack, and they've.
Can't swap it.
I was getting some stuff finished for some people. I made some promises that I'd get some bits done, so I kept my promise and stayed later than I should have. My van was parked in the car park. So the guys have come out to lock up and went, Danny's van's here, but there's no Danny. So they thought I'd fell or was injured on site somewhere and had a search party looking for me on the site. But it weren't. I was just whistling away, listening to jungle and fixing insulation and doing some snagging in my own little world in this place. Just
Snagging? What is snagging? Explain that to the
snagging
American
is so
audience.
when you get snagging, you get a snagging list. So what you get a list. So when the building inspector comes around to pass buildings at certain stages, he'll say, "I'm not happy with this. I'm not happy with that. Can you change this to this and do this and that?" Which is what we call a snagging list. So I was getting the list prepared. So when the building inspector come back for his revisit on Monday morning, everything is great because they can rely on me to do that for them. And because I had this deadline, I thought I should put another hour or so in to get it done for them. And apparently I shouldn't have. I should have gone home at the time I usually go home.
See what overachieving gets you, Danny?
Don't get you nowhere. Yeah, that's overachieving though. But yeah, I got told
crazy,
off.
though.
I got told off, and yeah, as if I felt like a lost
In a
kid in the
different
mall.
accent.
Yeah, I had an African guy would go, "Hey, Danny, where you been? I've been looking everywhere for you," like this, but it was aggressive, and
Fuck you.
the only reason it was aggressive, I later
Because I
found out.
called him. I called
No,
him
it's
because I called him
because
from the set,
we're
and I was
friends.
like,
Me and the guy
I
are
said,
really good friends, and he was worried. They genuinely thought that I'd hurt myself because they was calling my phone and I wasn't answering. It was
"That's a
going
good
straight to
friend."
voicemail. Yeah, yeah, and he was driving around with security guards, and they was all looking for
Because
me.
they
And all
could have
these,
said, "Fuck it, it's their weekend too." It's like, I'm going home. It's Saturday. I ain't got time for this shit.
yeah, I ain't got time for Danny Chaz's shenanigans. Yeah,
I got
but they
bronchitis.
genuinely thought I'd fell down and hurt myself, so they sent out a search party to look for me. So thanks, guys. If you're watching, I'm not going to clip this. Thank you, guys. I'm sorry I was short with you. I felt like I was being told off when I wasn't. Everyone was just really worried about me. And thanks for searching for me and finding me.
Thank you for
And I'm glad
being
there
a
was nothing the
friend.
matter. Yeah.
Traveled around the world and back again.
I felt like a
You
kid
know,
in the mall. You know, like
I was singing the Golden Girls
I
theme
know,
song to you.
I know,
You know what Golden Girls are, do you?
I know what the Golden Girls are.
Did you watch the Golden Girls over there?
Golden Girls. That's one of my things I used to watch on a Friday night. I used to watch
Over there in London, you guys would watch the Golden Girls?
on a Friday night. I would watch Cheers, Roseanne, Golden Girls, St. Elsewhere, and Hill Street Blues.
Now, those were some old reruns because St. Elsewhere and Hill Street Blues were completely done with way before Golden Girls even started.
This was the 80s.
Yeah, man. But St. Elsewhere and they were
Because
done.
it was either Cheers on or the Golden Girls. They'd rotate it in different seasons. Yeah, but Hill Street Blues is still being repeated now. I bet I could find it in a minute.
Hill Street Blues, the old school 70s, early 80s
Yeah.
with the epic
Stay
police
safe out there.
sirens and the
Yeah.
dude.
With
That
Bob James's theme tune. That was Bob James, wasn't it? Done Taxi, done Hill Street Blues as well. And what was his other big one? Nautica? Was it Nauticus? Nautica? Bob James, that
that's Nodless.
Nautilus, yeah. That's a fucking that's a
Oh
classic.
man. Listen, Every single fucking Bob James album is a classic, especially 1 through 4, and even Matchsticks. Like mm, don't get. I'm a Bob James nerd, and I'm fortunate enough to have several copies of like original pressings, and they're fucking mint, and they
Have you
sound
seen
so
the
good when I drop a needle on them. Shout out to Unchained. Shout out to Birdie, man.
what
Thank
up,
you guys
Birdie
for
and
tuning
Unchained?
in.
Have you seen the Tiny Desk, Bob James?
Yes, I have, and it's amazing. I am such a huge fan of Tiny Desk.
Me too. Me, I don't know what it is about it. It reminds me of the school library, like
Yeah,
the in the background, like when you were studying for something and you'd go to the library. That background reminds me of
yeah. Like
how it was
we
in
would
my
call it.
school.
We would call that at our school the resource center
The
because it
resource
was
center. Yeah.
more. It was more than a library
Oh,
because
they
that
had
was
computers
where
and shit
the
in there, and they were
computer
yeah,
lab and
mm,
like you could print shit out, and
mm.
they had
Back,
like
yeah.
audio books. That's where we would go play Oregon Trail, all of
Mm,
that shit. They had like I don't know if they had them over there. I'm sure they did. Like, that was you live in a different world.
mm,
The Man, early on and when I was in elementary school, and you call that primary school, right?
mm.
Like first through sixth grade.
Yeah. So you're about
Uh
11 years old.
yeah. Man, they had the way that they would have us listen to records because that was the thing. We would be sit around this record player, drop a record, and it would come out into this, it would plug in, and there would be this little center hub that is
Mm,
actually a speaker in the middle of it, and you would plug in these headsets that were like you would plug in this hollow tube, and through the tube and into these ear cups the audio was fed, so they were like an isolation muff that would like be a shooter's muff, kind of where it would dull out the classroom and you could hear this audio that was fed through a hollow tube up into your ears,
mm.
man. Do you even remember anything like that?
Nah.
Like they didn't, because that was something. Yeah, that was the thing. It wasn't because cords, break and shit, and actual headphone speakers and putting it in on a
Mm.
on a first grader's head, on it. That was so that was the easy, cheap way, and for them to even probably do anything like that
No,
for
we never had
that
nothing high tech
situation.
like that. We had one computer, and it was a BBC Micro, piece of shit computer. Couldn't do nothing with it, and we weren't even allowed to touch it.
Mm-mm. Yeah. Oh, we weren't allowed to touch computers until I take that back. I'm gonna say probably by about until we were fourth grade, and at that time, that's when I was in fourth grade or whatever, maybe even third grade is when we started being allowed to be supervised and play the Oregon Trail. If you did well, I was just telling my daughter about this and my son about this, explaining like when we first actually started working on computers and all of that shit. Uh, but how you only had the one computer, and if you
Mm.
did well, you would be able to pick a shape or a design out and then print it out on like a dot matrix printer, like the printers got,
Yeah, yeah.
you know what I
With,
mean?
with with the holes on the side of the paper,
Right, with the green and white stripe
green
on
and
that
white
type
stripe.
joint.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. So that shit, right? And like, I would always pick out the Jolly Roger symbol, which is the skull and
Mm.
crossbones, or like some type of gun, or like even then a ghost. Because they had those little designs. Like even then it was a ghost too, but I was into that type shit, boys shit. And
Mm.
I would purposely like, man, try my damnedest not to get in trouble because went on computer days just so I could make sure that I didn't fuck up my computer time and not being able to be on the damn computer, man. I'm playing Oregon Trail today, bitch. So that was a great carrot and stick method, because they definitely would. I mean, this is the same school that would. I mean, the one teacher had a paddle, and it was called the Green Machine. He had made this huge, thick sorority style wooden paddle with holes drilled in it and everything. Painted it green, put lettering on it, and it on one side it said the Green Machine. It had like a big ass string with it that he could twirl it like a police baton, like the police do with the billy clubs and shit. He had one of those and he would twirl it in class. But I mean, this thing, and the other side said sting, sting, and he would, man, it was this older black dude. He did not take any type of shit whatsoever. He'd be like, now listen, he'd even cuss at us too. Now listen, motherfuckers, I'm not putting up with any bullshit today. This is Mr. Tribble. Shout out to Mr. Tribble, RIP. I'm sure if you still kicking, I owe your ass. Anyway,
yeah, you're on the fucking list.
Either way, did my parents have a paddle? God damn, my parents didn't need a fucking paddle. They had furniture, they had those plastic spoons, those big ass like wooden like belts, whatever, man. Like a paddle.
Yeah, no, my kids, my parents never had weapons.
Did you get spankings? Did you get whoopings, Danny?
From my mum, never from my dad.
Right on.
Mm-hmm. But that was, not when I say spankings, it was like I was never beaten. It would be like, stop doing that. Like it'd be more like that. It wouldn't be right, motherfucker. It's time to get the shit kicked out of you. It was like, now stop it. Like that'd be it. Ran the year.
Right on.
Mm-hmm. Which is I would never do that with my kids, and nor would Kelly. Like, but it's different times.
Yeah, I've never laid a hand on either of my child, but that has been very much by intentional design.
I've never had the desire to. They're good. They're good kids.
I
was a fucker, so like I needed a little slap.
I was always a hyper child, bro.
I wasn't hyper. But sometimes I needed a bit of guidance. I needed keeping on the straight and narrow now and then.
I absolutely needed that too. I mean, and I will say, and I have said this, and even after therapy, I can say this: if it wasn't for my mom and dad and the things that so we'll say the discipline, I would have been dead or in jail, no doubt, because it was the only, like, I wasn't afraid of the police. I wasn't afraid of people in the streets. I wasn't afraid of anything but, is this and how is this going to be received when I get home? And is it going to we'll just say, yeah, I mean, it's like there was plenty of times that I absolutely was looking at becoming a participant in sketchy situations that I backed out and said, "No, I'm good, man. I'll be the bitch." You know what I mean, or whatever. Like in Boys in the Hood, when they're in the car and he's driving to go get the payback, and he's finally like he's in the back seat and he's like, "Yo, dope man, let me out."
Yeah, I was let me out.
I was let me out too. I mean, I like straight up let me out like when it came to that shit, because I'm like, man, I
There's
ain't worried about going to jail. I don't want to go. I do not want to get out of jail. Like but I didn't want to go to jail either though. But I was like, I don't, my parents are gonna fucking kill me. So,
I'd never wanted the experience, and I was clever enough not to get in that situation. And I was never clever. I was clever enough not to hang around.
I always got that feeling in my gut, you know what I
Mm.
mean, when it was getting ready to be bad, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
DJ Bad Motors, he said I got my ass beat, but I was wild and deserved those ass whoopings. And Birdie
Mm.
said I was a badass hyper one when I was younger. And Unchained, same thing, paddling's in
Mm.
school and dad.
Bad, bad motives. Talking of getting your ass beat. Have you looked at fantasy football lately?
Oh, that's fucked up.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for
So
setting that out, by the way.
So here's what we're at. We're past our intros. You guys know who we are. If you don't know who we are, I'm Ghost Boogie. I'm coming to you live from Denver, Colorado. I host 3 different podcasts, 2 with my brother Danny here. We do the usual suspect sesh together, and we do Blurred Reality weekly now. And also I do B-Boys Underground, which is my hip hop podcast. And then I DJ here on Twitch and in person. Danny Chaz, let them know who you are and what you do, fam.
So I'm Danny Chaz. I'm on a couple of podcasts myself. I do Chilled on Sunday podcasts. I'm doing this with my brother Ghost Boogie. I'm on the sesh. Um, I like to call myself a DJ. I play records from one turntable to another, and it sounds good.
What do
I've
you mean by that? Like, so why would you
So
not?
when I look at
What about that?
DJs, I instantly think of you, D minus, Lenny
What's the
DeCarno.
difference between no. Do not put me in the same fucking breath as Lenny and C.
Well,
Thank you.
you are, whether you like it or not, I'll see you in that bracket. So,
Come in.
and I'll play records from this turntable over here to this turntable over here. When I
You're
feel like
blending
doing
and mixing, and no, because the genre of music that you do is difficult to blend. So
very.
that
I think you've
that
learnt that lately by me requesting certain records, and yeah, it
well,
is.
it
It
just
is.
makes me pay attention. You know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
got to count more, and we're going to get into that. But I just want to say that you are minimizing your skills by saying what you say. I'm not going to let you get away with. He's a very good DJ, and he does a very good job at blending, and he does a very good job with the genre that he has, and it's fun. So make sure you check out his DJ streams as well.
So check out me. I'm the best DJ on Twitch.
There
Let's
you
go.
go. There you go. Talk your
um,
shit.
Talk my shit, and so I do shitty movie streams and I'll do PlayStation streams. But my favorite is just talking and shooting the shit with my friends.
Yeah, man.
That's my favorite type of streaming, which is the more the merrier.
So
I would
what
do
we're
I would do one 7 nights a week if I could.
and what we're doing here is something different that you haven't, you guys that are here watching us live, is we're going to do something a little bit different than what you're used to. So we're going to cover some topics, and we're going to do this every single week. Cover just a couple of variety of different topics, shoot the shit, get your guys' opinion on it, wrap it up in a bow, and wait for next week. So we're going to be covering a bunch of subjects. I know when we first started this, we were going to just do wrestling, and you guys were kind of like, well, I don't like wrestling, but we like listening to y'all shoot the shit. So we'll watch it. And we went through Mr. McMahon, and we watched Tyson. We watched, what else did we watch?
CKRJBT. What was it called?
Yeah,
CKRY.
that's right. Can't Kill Yourself, CKY 2K. And then
Yeah, I enjoyed
also
that.
we watched Welcome to
Death
Death
Row.
Row with the one and only legendary C minus.
Yeah, he come and joined us.
Yes. So with
I
that
showed a
being,
clip of that to my friend at work,
yeah.
and he went to me, "How do you know all these people?" I said, "Oh, I'm just cool, you know. They find me." He was saying, "I recognise that dude, C minus." He was going, "I recognise that dude." I said, "Yeah, C minus, man."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Wow." Right, they couldn't place me with C. They couldn't connect the dots of how we know each other. And
Yeah.
yeah, I said, "You
But
just yeah."
you just need to watch more and then they would have known.
Yeah, they don't watch. They think this is OnlyFans. I've said this before. They think I'll do OnlyFans and things like that when I'm on it. They think I'm a weirdo. I'm an internet weirdo.
You tell them you're on OnlyFans. Oh my
That's what no, they
god.
think they just assume that. I just don't correct them. You know, like, all right, yeah, of course. And I'll just carry on with what I'm doing. Yeah. But I've noticed a few people lately have been asking me about stuff, and a couple of people have asked me to send them links. So yeah. I said you need to subscribe. Mm.
You should be questioning if they are asking to have a link and they think it's OnlyFans. You should be questioning your their intentions.
I've got a
Ah!
friend who's on Pirate Radio now, and he asked me to send him a link to my Twitch so we could check out the DJ, and so we'll see what that turns into.
Very
And
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Mm.
So check this out, man. Let's get into man something that we cannot avoid.
So where we going? Where we going first? As we going news stories?
Well, what I just want to talk about something. I mean, I can't not
Mm.
talk about something that's going on over here in the States, and I'm wondering what it's like for you over there. But man, we got this cat, we got Mario brother out here clapping CEOs
Mm.
from healthcare, man. Like, so basically, this dude named Luigi Mangione, or however you want to say his name, that's how I say it, man. Luigi Mangione. That's how I'm going to say it from here on out. Don't correct me because that's how I just do it.
I wouldn't dare correct you.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
killed the CEO of the United Healthcare insurance company. Like
Mm.
I had United Healthcare
Are they a
for,
big? Are they a huge company?
they were they have been my insurer of choice, I guess, for a long time until we changed to a different insurance because they were no longer offered at and they absolutely 100% positively were a pain in the ass to deal with and get any type of things done at all. And this was one of the things that's the outcry, and that it's come to light that this CEO's policy was, how they saved money was to deny, defer,
Mm.
all of this stuff in
So
regards.
they're health insurance people, but they're behaving like car and home insurance.
Well, I mean, they're people in business making money. It's a
Yeah, it's fucking
business.
bullshit. It's people's lives they're fucking with. Like, you know,
Well, but it's over.
it's not someone knocking a pint of beer over it on the telly. It's like it's people's health that they're fucking with. You think you're covered for stuff, and then they go, "Oh no, as it happens, you're not covered for that," but you're giving them thousands of dollars a year.
Well,
Is that
what the
am I going on the right lines?
Yeah, but like something that, for instance, I'll just share some HIPAA information, right?
Mhm.
One of the surgeries that I got to fucking have done is I was told that I need a hip replacement. I've had plenty of MRIs and medical imaging that supports that. There's been a span of time that's gone on since the last MRI, and for the surgeons to get the ability to, because I changed insurance to this other one that I'm on, but they all operate the same. I had to go through 6 months of physical therapy that absolutely 100, even the physical therapists themselves were telling me, like, all we can do is kind of help in this area, but like if we even deal with what we've got to deal with, it's going to be painful and it's going to be bad, right? Because it was like they were taking me through the court rig, and it's just like, motherfuckers, you need to pay attention to what's going on and go back and look at all. And they're like, so long story short, I'm still waiting to get the order and the approval for an MRI that is, I mean, the previous MRI that will only show, it's not going to heal itself, right? The previous MRI garnered enough to be able to do what they needed to do, right? And then, but so there's a lot of frustration in it, and that's the thing that's holding me up in regards to being able to, because we have to figure out what we're going to do about my hip, if we're going to do anything about my hip, or if it needs, or if what the course is. And I can't get anything done with my back or any of my other stuff until my hip is sorted out.
Yeah.
Right. Once they get that sorted out, then we can address, because
I understand. If you don't get your hip compensated,
right?
And you get the back done first, your back will be compensating for the bad hip, and you just
It's
put your
all
back where
fucked.
you were.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you. So and it's just it's so the healthcare system, when especially I've been waiting, and I had to wait pretty much an extra, I'm gonna say 8 months before I could even get my neck surgery done. I had to wait an extra 8 months, and that's been very frustrating, right? So that's why I have next Friday. Blurred Reality Weekly will not be here because next Friday I'm having surgery. But that is there's it's just it's very frustrating. So what's happening here, normally when someone gets gunned down, there's this humongous unanimous outcry, that it's wrong. People are up in arms about it. No pun intended. And of course there's, calls for gun violence and all of this stuff, and all of it, all of it that goes along with it. Not so much. The temperature has not been, or it hasn't been as galvanized over here as normally as it is. And there's some citizens that are approving. There's tons of memes. There's tons of people taking pictures to give this guy an alibi, as far as that he was with them while during the times of the, like, when the incident took place. You've got things that are like this, which is, we wanted to take a moment to give a shout out to our newest employee, Luigi, for picking up the piss jugs in a 24-hour nonstop shift on December 4th, beginning at 12 a.m. without ever clocking out. Thank you for your dedication to Salina 52 truck stop. You've got one of our best customers came out to help in store December 4th from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. here in Utah. Far from the crazy hustle and bustle of the big city, I never met someone so enthusiastic about the Punisher before. though I thought it was unnecessary to continue and let everybody know that even though he's a great character, he's not an inspiration and that you'd never want to be just like him. What a quirky guy. Big thank you to Luigi. And then, we could have never managed it without you. Got another one. It was great hanging out with my friend Luigi in Lincoln on December 4th from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. You got
That's the
this
worst
one.
Photoshop ever, that last one.
Yeah. Thanks to my friend Luigi for hanging out from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. We really enjoyed that sushi and then later Bible study. Yeah, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to our friend who December 4th around 6 a.m. helped us load our trailer and drive us to play a secret set. Just want to thank our friend Luigi for his secret appearance at a December 4th pop-up. Like, this guy's getting a tat. Just wanted to give a quick shout out.
That's
getting some ink. Another one. Check this one out. Luigi's looking quite buff here. It's busy month. Special thanks. Never leave our site once, and even to use the bathroom. Cussers really enjoys his catchphrase, I'll never go to NYC, and the only thing I hate more than hoods on jackets is guns. Then you've got what is it? There must be some mistake. Officer Luigi was working the drive-through. Burger King, not Burger King. Either
this
way,
guy's gone out. He's committed a murder, and everyone's behind him.
There's a lot, to the point where, man, they're even leaving. So when this cat got arrested, because there was a big manhunt, this guy dies, gets murdered, everybody's on and it happened in New York City. It happened in New York City, where there's cameras everywhere, right? And they were like, how could this guy get away? And the search was on and trying to retrace his steps. So they finally caught him at McDonald's. And these people are tripping out. And
it wasn't like in New York, it was in Philly, wasn't it? Pennsylvania.
Right. They found him in a McDonald's in Pennsylvania.
Is that the next state over?
Yeah, it's relatively, you can, yes. And so he was arrested while eating at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, after someone at the location tipped the police. Now, in response to his arraignments, dozens of people are flooding that McDonald's with Yelp or let me do that. With negative reviews on Yelp and Google,
because they were grasses, yeah.
So as we call snitches and rats over here, you call them grouses over there, right?
Grass, yeah, like the grass under your feet. Like the grass in your yard.
Yeah, so here's this McDonald's is officially the worst place on earth. I walked in for a McChicken, and what did I get? A front row seat to a rat's Olympic floor routine. You know what I mean? Another review suggested potential customers steer clear. What is it? Why go here when Taco Bell is just across the way and knows how to keep their mouth shut? Whenever I'm in Altoona, I'll steer clear of this place. Let's see here. Locations rating currently stands as a 1.2 out of 5 on Yelp. They have since disabled the ability to leave a review on the locations page. Yeah, man. It's those there. I mean, this is what's happening over here, right? That's not normal response.
No, it's like people getting behind vigilante justice. Like,
vigilante justice. How is that over there for you guys?
It doesn't sit well with me. Like, the guy was heinous. Like, we were talking about the insurance guy. and a businessman in the sense of putting his own wealth before people's health.
Just like that dude that bought
But
the
it's an
Wu-Tang album
indictment
that
on
had to
the
give it back.
justice system there, really, and here and
And the
everywhere globally.
medical system. It's an indictment on the medical system.
It's someone's took the law into their own hands because justice has let them down. And
Our legal
as
system
much as we're
and
all
healthcare system
like
let 'em down.
ha ha and yeah and everything else, it's the first step in breaking down a civilization when citizens have to take the law into their own hand, when our justice system and our police should be taking care of that for us. And the fact that so many people have come out in support of Luigi only echoes the fact that something's not right, something's broken in the system, that this has had to happen. I mean, has it come out in the news yet that the reasoning why he done it? Is there a specific reason why he, like, there is a thing saying, yeah, you didn't give him my tablet, so I shot him, or is it like
It
like
is basically an
has he
indictment on the
said why?
healthcare system.
Has he said why he's done it though, or have people decided that?
Absolutely. He's had a manifesto. He's came out, and it's been not it's been unclear, but it has been, I mean, he wrote out words on the bullets, and it were the same words that they were using as the policies, as far as deny, defer, and it's crazy. And it is
Unchained brings up a good point, doesn't he? His whole manifesto was so generic that people were wondering if is it real or is it a plant, and is he a patsy? Because there's that side of it as well. Like what you were saying, it's written on the bullets, and you know, he's apparently he stood up in the court and said that he's a completely sane person, that he was acting within his right mind, and that he doesn't take drugs or drink, and like he's willing to take the punishment that comes along with his action as well. That's how devoted he is to what he's done.
correct. And you know, his family, his family are very wealthy. He's very affluent, or I don't. They're well off. They own a country club, and they own several healthcare facilities that offer extended care, and I think maybe end of life care or elderly or senior care. But they first got their wealth by first acquiring a country club, and then the wealth that I think they acquired a couple more country clubs, and then got themselves into one of the two most wealthiest, I'll say the top three most wealthiest industries in America: war, prisons, healthcare, insurance.
And tobacco.
Nah, tobacco's after insurance, because I mean, you know what I mean? There's laws over here that you have to be insured, right? And if you don't, then bad things happen, or even to get loans and stuff like that. And I mean, you can't really get any type of, you can't afford to even have lab work pulled without any
over
type
here.
of
It's insurance, medical, and insurance, pharmaceutical, and basically we're a whole nation of middlemen. So it's a nation. We're brokers. We're stockbrokers and bankers. People from England. So it's buy cheap, sell expensive. Like, you know, that and the colonizing. That's what we really specialize in.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a whole thing. I mean, the rise of healthcare costs.
Mm. I don't think it's a gun issue, like a gun control issue. Do you? Like
So
I,
here's the thing that goes along with that. This ended up he 3D printed part of the firearm. He 3D printed
yeah,
the bottom and you can't and even it malfunctioned on him, right? So everybody thinks that you can just the 3D print a whole gun. I mean, you still have to have a barrel. You
yeah.
still needs to be steel parts. The part of the receiver has to be,
Mm,
and I don't even think that you can 3D print with the polymer on a commercial or a consumer machine like that yet. I may be absolutely wrong, but that's my education and opinion speaking, not my
mm,
expertise in the subject matter. I do understand weapons very well, but uh, I don't know anything about the current abilities to 3D print a whole gun. There's
mm,
no way a 3D printed anything can even be a barrel because of the fact that I mean a barrel has to be forged steel because there's so much pressure. I mean, because I used to reload my own bullets. I mean, my grandfather taught me from a very early age how to reload. I'd help reload actual like everything that he shot, right?
mm,
And then when I became a competitive trap shooter and amateur trap shooter, yeah, I started competing and doing that. And there were times that there were weekends that I mean I would shoot over 1,000 rounds of ammo, just shotgun shells, because I was shooting that many rounds of trap, right? Just practicing and doing competing and trying to get better. Uh, so I understand when you know you have to be very, very, very careful about when you are loading and using ammunition. You have to deal with pressures and normal bullet like pressures that barrels can
mm.
handle. There's
Yeah,
it's a science to it, right? There's no way anything 3D printed shit that can handle,
an
you know,
explosion in a tube.
like
Yeah.
that. It is fucking controlled explosion that propels something
Mm,
to go that fast for that far. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And all ammunition can travel a mile.
How do people get around it here? So firearms and guns are illegal here for the most part. It's illegal to buy or own a firearm in England for a normal everyday person, but it's not illegal for us to buy gun parts. So we can buy a handle from here, a trigger from there, a barrel from there, a magazine from here, and some bullets from there, and put the whole thing together. And now we've got a gun. So that's
And
how
that's what they
stupid.
call a ghost gun over here.
That's stupid. That's how stupid the laws are here. We can buy parts of guns and put them together, but we can't buy and own them. Um,
What happens if if you get caught with one of those ones that you put together?
you get about 2 years in prison.
So regardless if it's a gun that, is like a Smith and Wesson or a Boogie and Chaz, it's
If
2 years.
you're caught with a gun here, yeah, they throw the book at you. Yeah. So
Change the even.
what do you say?
He said, I heard they even have magazine subscriptions over there.
Yeah,
I
I
was,
mean, like guns are illegal here, but it doesn't mean there isn't any guns. People seem to think that there's zero guns here. There isn't. There's guns here. Um, the problem is the only people that have got the guns are criminals or the police.
how
So,
many people carry knives over there?
misconception: not a lot of people carry knives here.
Do you carry a knife?
No.
Is it legal to carry a knife?
Up to a certain size, and it has to be a non-fixed. I don't know what that means. Yeah, it has to be
instead
like
of a straight
away.
handle and blade, it's got to be a folding knife.
I mean, I've got, yeah, I do carry a knife. That's stupid. I don't carry a knife every day in my everyday life.
But when you're working, of course you do carry a
I
knife.
I use tools. I use a lot
A
worse things
razor,
than
right?
knives. Yeah, I use a gun at work. Like
Oh yeah,
I've got I've got a gun that fires nails into steel, which
that's
is
so cool, man.
more powerful than a handgun. It will blow a hole through you, you know. Like, and I don't need a license for that. I've got training for it, but you know,
That I'd be playing with that. I couldn't see. I already know that I'm not allowed on your job site because I am going to be that guy. Like, oh, we got to fuck with this. I know you can't talk about it, but anyway.
I'm not gonna carry on.
No, I know you can't. No, but
um,
carry on what you were saying though about
I forgot
over
where I
there.
was. Yeah. So with the gun
My
thing,
bad.
yeah, we've got the gun laws here. I mean, it's the only people that have got guns here are criminals, police, and farmers. So farmers who own farms and land have shotguns and rifles for vermin.
They're allowed to hunt. Like, so are you guys
Yeah,
allowed? Are you allowed? Can you go hunting?
yeah.
So how do you go hunting? Like, so because you need it
Need a
unless you're going
license,
boat.
and they are landowners, and yeah, you'll be on a landowner's land that's allowed to have firearms, and off you go. But you ain't just wandering around like you do there with like orange vests on. It's very organized, and
Oh, is that what you think? You can just wander around anywhere you want with an orange vest and go hunting?
yeah, I've seen Deliverance.
Hmm. Well, that's
I've seen the
untrue.
deer hunt. I don't do that in the deer hunt. You just drink loads of beer and go
You
shooting
just
at
don't
stuff.
know. Listen, you do not go on anybody's land over here without letting them
Oh
know that
no,
you are
that's for
on
permission of the
their
landowner.
land.
The hunts here are organised by the landowners.
Yeah, so it's
They'll
kind of
charge
the
a fee
same.
to go onto their land and hunt. Yeah.
You've got to know somebody, or it has to be
Over there,
state
you
land.
just get a gun and just go. Oh, there's some woods. I'm going to wander around in there with my vest on. No.
That is a horrible way to get shot, Danny. Yes, as someone who used to go hunting and has been hunting,
Mm.
and yes, that is a absolute way to get shot.
See,
Absolute way. Becca Boo, if you, I know you're lurking, Birdie, if you're lurking still, what would happen if Danny was just to grab an orange vest, grab some type of shotgun or whatever he wants, and just has a walkabout on a piece of land, unchained? You're over here, right?
Mm.
What would happen if he just had a walkabout over here? I mean, it would end fucking horribly. It would end horrible for you, Daddy.
Mm.
Hmm. I mean, the 2-year-old's got a gun, especially out on the farm. He's out there with a sippy cup,
No,
dirty
so
ass
the worst
diaper,
we'd
and
get if I went onto someone's land, they go, "Oi, what are you doing on my land?" I go, "Oh, is this yours?"
Beckaboo said you
And
would
they go,
not be
"Yeah."
walking off the property.
It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. What the fuck? Like here, there's right of ways and paths and things through people's lands that we can just walk through. Like just because you own a piece of land, don't mean you can shoot someone for walking across it. Like, you know.
We can over here.
I know it's stupid. To me, it's not stupid or crazy. To me, it's just different. Others don't get that, Like it's just like here, there's right of ways and public footpaths across people's lands because they've been walking them ways before the land was ever owned by anyone. We're not that protective about it, really. I don't know. Maybe it's because you stole it in the first place, and you want to
There's
keep it.
that.
I don't know.
There is that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. No, like because like there's farms near me. I can walk out of my house now, and I know there's farms around the corner. And I know there's parts of the farms I can just walk through, and the farmer would just tip his hat and say good afternoon and carry on with his day. Yeah.
Unchained said, if it was my place, I'd hide in my house and hope he went away. If it was my parents 20 minutes away, they'd blow his ass away if he had somehow get past the dogs.
Yeah, it's crazy. If someone come into my house, different story. You know, it's a different story.
We have castle doctrine over here. And like here in Colorado, it's kind of pretty much the make my day, thing. Because in Ohio, you had to have equal, you couldn't just like, if you went over the top, you would, they could get you. Here, I don't have to worry about going over the top. I can kill a person if they come in my house and there's a perceived threat, and I'm going to go to court and
You
probably be
can't do that
arrested
here.
and all of that. Like, you know what I mean? But if it's going to be proven that it was an intruder in my home and a perceived threat, I don't have to wait for a person to get to the point where my life is completely, they've got an edge on me and I'm, oh, now I can get my gun. Let me go unlock it. No, no, you know what I mean? Like it's, if
No, we
you,
haven't got
who's
that
that?
here.
You heard the Goody Mob song. Who's that peeking in my window? Pow.
No one.
Nobody now.
That. So if a burglar or intruder comes into my house, I'll need to kindly ask them to leave and call the police. Just to let you know, anyone who enters my house, I will fucking cripple you and break your back. I would drag you out to the pavement, stomp on your head on the curb, and then just leave you there. And I wouldn't ring the police, and I wouldn't call the thing. And when the police come, I say, "Oh, what happened to him?" That's how we get around that law in England. Like it's no, just because it's law doesn't mean that's how it works. Do you know what I mean? Like so.
Oh, I know.
So when people like look at England and they go, "You haven't got guns and you don't do this and you don't do that," we go, "No, no by law we don't, but it doesn't mean it doesn't happen."
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
that is the whole thing. That is one of the biggest arguments over here. And of course, one of the most dividing and divisive subjects over here is the Second Amendment and our right to bear arms and to own firearms and all of that, right?
Yeah.
But oh, that's just the surgery center calling me. They can call back next week because they waited until fucking 3:57 on 1 week. Fuck you. You call me Monday. My
I
bad.
understand why you've got that right to bear arms. I understand why you've got that and why we haven't. Like America's compared to England's a new country.
True.
And
We are.
You're a new country, like in comparison to England.
We're 240, almost 40. Next year will be 249 years old.
Yeah. So you're not that many generations apart from pioneers and explorers and people staking land. And you're not that many generations away from being a lawless land.
Correct.
So you were protecting yourself with firearms, and I can see why the firearms still exist and why there is a Second Amendment.
And stranger danger at that point when people came on your property and land that was your land was very much, hey, who the fuck are you and what are you doing here? Because I'm strapped, you're strapped.
There's this conversation going. Yeah.
Well, what the fuck's up? You know what I mean? Can I help you with a gun in my hand? Like, do I got to point this at you?
Like, I think it's embedded enough into America now that it can't be taken away.
Well, that's the point that I was getting ready to make, right? So, I don't know the official internet number. Let's see here. How many guns
Probably
are
twice as many as
in
people, I'd say.
America. Let's see here. The Small Arms Survey estimates that there are 393 million guns in America
Yeah.
or in the United States, both legally and illegally owned. There is more than all of this is more than all of the 24 countries with the highest civilian gun ownership combined.
Mm.
Some of the other facts are the ratio of guns to people in the United States is 120 guns for every 100 Americans. Only about 1 in 3 Americans report owning a gun, but most gun owners have more than one. A
Mm.
minority of people own a majority of guns. This is getting into some other stuff, and these are surveys, right? So, but that's an estimate, right? That's what it came up on Google as I see it.
So, but way I see it is you've got two hands. Why would you only own one gun? You know, Gorilla Strong's got 4 guns. You know, like
Mhm.
it's. No, but I'm making stupid quibs, but I can understand why the right to bear arms would be would be an argument being made by Americans. I can see the argument, and I can see the pros and cons.
So the thing that I
I
want,
also can see the what's the point of owning an AR-15 or an assault rifle? But at the same time, I can kill you with a handgun, I can kill you with an assault rifle. What's the fucking difference? That's the way I see it as well.
mhm.
Um, so people go, "What do you want that for? Hunting? Well, what do you want a Tech 9 for, or a Glock, or it makes no sense that argument. What you're going to hunt with an AR-15? It's still home protection. No matter how good it is, it's saying, oh, how far does a firearm have to get before it becomes, no, that's too much. At the end of the day, you're putting holes in people.
Well, here's my here. I mean, when you draw the line on that, and where you draw the line is a completely different
Mm,
situation and conversation. I mean, just to get back to and I understand what you're saying,
mm,
but the the just because the body of the weapon itself looks a certain way, right?
yeah.
And behaves a certain way and operates a certain way doesn't make it any different than one that looks the same way, right? And then at that point, that looks different but operates the same way. And then at that point, then everything becomes subjective. Now,
Yeah.
we're not allowed to have you have to have a license to have like suppressed firearms and fully automatics. It's very easy to convert them over and be illegal. But my point that I wanted to get to, and it gets back to why you can't peel it back, is that just like you said over there, you can buy all the parts to put one together, right?
Mm,
But you can't own it. And people still own it, regardless.
mm.
And all of that. Uh so I lost my train of thought. I'm back. You will never ever be able the bad guys are always going to have one
Yeah.
over here, right? So at that point the population's defense is like I need to be able to, like you said, we're an early country, and it was like everything that you said, that is the point of,
Mm.
and because the criminals are definitely going to fucking have one.
Now, where I was brought up, if you used a weapon, you was a coward.
Well, that's older times too. That
Yeah.
is
So, but
absolutely.
that's still around today. So that is, if there was a fight somewhere and someone pulled a knife on someone else, the whole community would go, "What a prick!" And that person, man, woman, or child, would be blackballed. They would be like, the whole community would just, they're scum because they used a weapon. Like, fisticuffs is fisticuffs. If someone pulled out a weapon, they would just be dirty bastards. They would be like,
Yeah, you always like we called them pussy over here. Like
pussies,
that's
yeah. Like, so, but that's how we feel about the same with guns and things like that. You think the fucking prick needed to use a gun. What sort of a man is he? That's the mentality here. You know, as far as that. So there's also, like, going back to the vigilante justice. That's the local community policing itself, and the elders handing down, "This is how it is," you know, like, and instilling that into us. Like, you know, I was from a working class area where growing up, where there was criminals and people who went to work, and we all mixed. And if you used a weapon or you were a coward, and everyone was, people would see you in the street and like spit on the floor in front of you and things like that, like, you know, like you wouldn't be you'd be completely shut out if that's what you done. Like, you, and I think that's just instilled. Like, we don't think he's just besmirched my name, I better go grab my gun. You know, that's not like the first thing I think. Like, that doesn't even enter my head. You know, like,
no,
yeah,
and I think it's very much, or I feel like it's very much a younger generation, but it's also gotten to the point where they're viewed for some folks as status symbols.
yeah.
It's so, and then it becomes necessity.
It becomes
And
jewelry as well.
correct. And
Mm.
all of this different thing, right, that goes along with it. And if you're operating definitely in an area where, well, shit, a lot of people around me is going to have them, so I don't want to I don't want to be
That's
without
the
it, so
other.
it perpetuates it.
That's where I'm coming from. Where I'm seeing the argument for
Right.
is, if every motherfucker around me's got one
And I don't.
and I don't, and
Who's
someone,
a dumbass now?
I don't. Who's the coward now? I'm the dead brave man. You know, like,
Exactly. Let me die with
yeah,
the principle. I got him, motherfucker.
exactly, yeah.
Oh,
That's making my point to. I can understand why people are against. Yeah,
Kelly, I didn't use a gun.
Hmm. Hmm.
I get it though. I mean, that what do you do? So I mean and then and the youth, think about being a youth dealing with that. You already
Yeah,
know what peer pressure's like, right? And just it just goes and goes and goes. And Unchained said our education systems right now absolutely are 100% not good right now, man. Not
yeah.
good. It's just
What's happened as well with with the youth? I hate saying it, talking like this, because it makes me feel old, and I'm not. Is because the world's such a small place now, and England is a haven for people. So England is a place that people are, when they're in. There's a lot of war in and around Europe and Africa and and the Middle East. England's a haven, so people will run to us that are in trouble. And the way England's set up is, if you are in trouble and you are running away from war, come, we'll help you, which is good. I think that's good. The problem with that is people have grown up in and around war and killing. So human life is less valuable to them. So when there is an argument or a thing, they will escalate to violence quick. So what has happened is the kids that are not from them areas that are now mixed in together have to step up. They have to step up. So this is where we get the what Unchained was saying earlier and things, and I can't remember if someone else was asking like about the knife crime here. Kids have gone from not carrying to carrying because they're stepping up to the next level with kids that are grown up. I was going to say not knowing any better, but that's such a fucking horrible thing to say. Kids that have been educated differently is probably the better way to put it. Like, and
different times, different
different regions. Like, because England's, I'm very proud that England is a melting pot, and that London in particular is. I'm very proud of the cultures that live and we do live together.
Okay.
We you only hear about bad stuff in the news, and the way the media portrays thing is white man does this to black man does this to white. No, it's a man doing it to a man. That's
Human.
how the news should be.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening. It's a sad reality that our kids are having to be tougher because the world's a smaller place now, and people from all these different upbringings are now together, and kids do have to step up in school with the peer pressure and that. So we're seeing a lot more violent crime and a lot more gang crime and a lot more people from certain areas and people from certain areas clubbing together, which was what happened in America a lot, I hear, with the gang culture and things like that. We have always had gang culture, but not on the scale that you guys have had it. And it is here now. Like, it's here now. It was around when I was younger, but I've always been an individual, so I never got involved in that. So don't know where I'm quite going with it, but it's just like I was saying, the world's such a small place now, and unfortunately, a portion of it's bad, which spreads. I wish more people were into peace and love and getting along and seeing the bigger picture.
That's why I always look at music, man. And that is how, I have always used music as that. I mean, it came up on B-Boys again, this week. And I explain, like, I've always been able to find common ground in folks with music. That's the reason why on B-Boys Underground and on the sesh, there's always the rule, no religion or politics, right? Here we blur that line. You're not going to hear us trying to convert anybody or like me taking a strong opinion on any stance whatsoever, because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to convert anybody. I believe that everyone is entitled to their own opinion, right?
100%.
Opinions are not facts. Opinions should not be treated as facts and become, fact because it's an opinion from a popular person that says it. And no, opinions are opinions, and there's different perspectives from everyone, and everybody's experience in life is completely different, but yet the same, because everybody faces adversities and processes them the same fucking way, because there's different levels of trauma and different levels of experiences, 100%. But at the end of the day, all humans walk around with some type of hurt and trauma, right? To some extent and some level, regardless of what that is and how they deal with it and all of that shit. So you're allowed to have your opinions, and everybody has their own perspectives. And when you can start talking to one another and using it as an opportunity to learn and gain insight with so these are this person's experiences, and you start talking to other people, you start finding out that you're the fucking same. You're the same.
Me and you have found that out over knowing
Yes.
each other over the last couple of years. The conversations me and you have from completely different parts of the world, we've got very, very similar experiences. Very similar. And
Yeah.
it's two completely different people from two different walks of life. And we've got so much in common. And I'm just glad I can sit here with you and have this conversation. We're sitting here now, we're having a conversation like grown-ups. You might not agree with everything I say, I might not agree with everything you say, but you won't catch me being upset about it or going on Reddit or writing a blog of how much a
Going on
disgusting
social
person I am.
media, like putting a 12, fuck you, Danny. Like, I'll tag you on Facebook.
You
Twat.
can, and anyone ever hears this at any time from now to eternity, write what you want about me. I do not care. I do not care. I'm a grown up with my own opinion, and I will speak it.
Yeah.
I will not try and convert you. I will not try and change your mind. I'll give you an opinion that I've got, and if I'm wrong, change my mind, please. If I'm wrong, give me a reason to say no, I think you're wrong, and explain to me why, without calling me names or accusing me of stuff. Just say, Danny, I think you're wrong because of A, B, C. And I might sit there and go, shit, I'm glad you told me this because you just changed my point of view. And I love it. Someone try and do it. Like, someone do it. But don't call me names in the process. Just, Danny, you're wrong. I believe this and that. And I'll take everything into account. I've got a Discord. Danny Chaz's, what do I call it? Clubhouse. Danny Chaz's Clubhouse. And there's a section on there. I've got to rename it called Blur Reality. And there's suggestions and comments there. Anything you think me and Boogie would have a good conversation with, put it there. And this is just not lazy, you do our job for us. This is just give us some things because me and Boogie got our own opinions. You might send us something that we haven't thought about.
And we want to hear your opinions too.
100%. Yeah. I want to hear your opinions. But I want to hear them in the right way.
No, you can't tell people how to, like, I want to hear them in the right way. You better come at me correct, you fuck up. You can't.
What I don't want is people going, "Oh, bean toast, you honky." Blah blah. I don't want that. You know what I mean? Or you're such
both
a
of those are facts,
like,
though.
No, that sounds. Come at me with that. Yeah, you're right. That's my nickname at college, Honky Bean Toast.
Oh, man, now I've got some more. Man. Anyway, so speaking about, I know something that happened, in your music community. When I say your music community, is something that is very important to you, and I don't know anything about this, but tell me.
So, there's a music producer from London called Lenny Dice, and he sadly passed away this week. And the cause of death has not been released. Rest in peace, Lenny. And he's from where I'm from, and he's niche around the world, but here he's a very well-known music producer. His name's Lenny Dice, and he is cited as the guy that created the first tune that could be classed as jungle. So he's the guy that invented jungle, and because it's it come from the EDM music and house music and garage, and he brought out one groundbreaking record. It's this one here. It's this one here, Boogie. It's called We Are E.
Yeah, like almost solo on that. Show it like, yeah, come a little closer. Let everybody see that that label. There you
So
go.
it was the Arms House Crew. It's the label, and that's what it's called. Lenny D Ice and the Arms House Crew, and the song's called "We Are Ye," and it's yeah, one of the first jungle tunes. So he's a pioneer in creating music and a great artist. And it's just sad that yeah, he sadly passed away this week. And I'm doing a little bit of production now.
So I mean, that's crazy that, you know, it's cool that when you can trace back a specific style and sound. There he is. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
To a
Yeah, so
person.
there's been conversations about this with other people in it. Like there's a guy called Goldie. He used to be with Bjork, the singer Bjork, and he's another huge pioneer. And there's a Fabio and Groove Rider DJs who are pioneers in the jungle scene. And everybody who's anybody relates the first ever tune back to this guy. So he created a whole scene, which so this one record that he made come out, and then overnight, boom, hundreds of tens, then 20s, then hundreds of songs come out, and then there was nights dedicated to it, and it just became its own just subgenre. So I just want to pay my respects to him. Really, I've put some stuff out on Insta this week, and it's just a big influence in the music I listen to and the scene. And like when you see me DJ, and this is what I'm playing. And every time, like as much as I'm a hip hop head and I like all types of music, when I touch my turntables, that's all I want to play. I don't like that genre of music is all I want to play. And I mean, I can. I don't know if we get flagged, but
We're not
I've
gonna
got
get
it queued
flagged.
up. So should I cue this up? Yes. If I
Yeah,
do this,
yeah.
this is. Oh, by the way, in case you notice, this is my first time doing this. So sorry if I'm a bit jump aroundy. That's a pain.
We're good. So while he's getting that queued up, so I'll tell you, I have never ever given this any time of day. Make that full screen, Danny.
Yeah. I don't think
And
I'm
at
giving
50
anything
and at
away.
50%, or at like 45%.
What
I'll
the
wait
volume?
until, yeah.
It's gone into something else. Right.
Let me know when it's
So
ready to go.
yeah,
We're
you
good.
carry on. I've got to go search it out again.
No, what I had found was, or send me the link to, is that the link, the proper link? That did you update the link? All right, so if you put it in the private chat, I'll take care of it. The thing about jungle music or house or electronic, man, I was kind of, and I've admitted this on B-Boys Underground, when I was, working and DJing to an all like hip hop, old school funk, R&B, jazz crowd that did not want to hear any type of anything that had to do with anything related to any music that you had going on over there or any of that. So my brain power and bandwidth went out, and I kind of got galvanized. Like all that stuff is like, that's not my music. So it is what it is. And I was like, that's just whatever. It's not for me. And as I've gotten older, and of course gotten out of that mindset, and even been able to start, DJing more and being freer to play more music, different genres of music, it's been great and refreshing. But you actually, um and some other folks too, but like, you are someone that actually made me even give drum and bass time of day, or jungle time of day.
It's good when like me and you are DJs and we can introduce. I love being introduced to music. Like I love when people like we was talking about me, you, and Mikey were talking about yesterday. We was talking about the Johnny Cash recordings, the American recordings, and that. When I was introduced to that, I know who introduced me to it, and it was like just I just love being introduced to music by people that know the music.
Yeah, I go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you carry on.
No, I was just it's the same way for me. I love being introduced to something that I can appreciate, and I've always heard certain songs that were those things, and I was like, "Oh, what is that? I like that," but not ever had the ability to get into it, right? And that, right? And I want you to take me through. So at this time, when this came out, when this record hit and dropped, what you're saying is jungle didn't exist. That
did
whole
not exist.
thing,
No,
like there was not a jungle scene. Did
nope.
not. And then from this record, after this record, it can be argued that jungle existed, and this was put together by Lenny D. Ice.
Yeah. So this was 1988. And officially released in 1990. So there was white labels flying around from 1998 and promo copies, and then it was officially released 2 years later. And but so if I push play, just push play.
Yeah, we're gonna play it. We don't have to worry about it because we're only on Twitch right now. We're only on Twitch right now.
So let us know if that's coming out all right. So this is We Are Ye by Lenny D. Ice. So this was out when it was house music. So that
no audio.
No audio.
No audio. You forgot to click the share audio tab. No problem.
I don't know how to do that.
We're live.
Where's the share audio tab?
There's a little tab at the bottom. You have to unshare your screen. Go to present again. And then go to present. And then when you select the Google tab that you are going to, there's a switch at the bottom where it says share audio.
Oh yeah, so I put it in the wrong thing.
So yes, jungle did not exist, which I think is crazy. I mean, I love this, and I love like origin stories and understanding, you know, how music began. I mean, because that's the thing I love about hip hop. I can go back and get down with the music, and you know, the music that spawned a sound are all easily accessible and relatable to me. And I know it happened with rock. I don't like going back to Chuck Berry and all that shit because I don't like that type of music. I never have. Like, I did not like the early, or I'll say that I definitely don't like it. To say that, it gets on my nerves. There it is.
There it is. Right. So when this was brought out, it was house and garage nights mainly when we used to go out. What we call raving in warehouse. So it was like acid house, and we would have illegal raves out in the middle of nowhere in warehouses and fields and forests. So you hear the dum 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 dum. That was very house music. That boom 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 boom, which is like a 2-step, 4-step. Sort of thing.
It's that 4 on the floor. Is that
so the first time I heard this, I was in a warehouse called Roller Express over northeast London in a rave on New Year's Eve. And I remember hearing this beat, and I was just dancing away and drinking my bottle of water. And all of a sudden, it just kicks in with this bass line. And it's so it was. We realised they was using the sound systems and dancehall bass lines and the dub. And I was thinking, oh, what's this? And then they were even using the gunshot ricochets was completely different. Because before then it was more like disco and funky and just more 70s disco, house, Chicago style, Frankie Knuckles. And then as soon as we heard this broken beat come in, it was like, I remember hearing this out, this beat, and just thinking, oh, fuck, you know, like it just hit, and it was just like, before this, it was just boom, 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 boom. As soon as I heard this, it was like, and hip hop was spinning at these type of tempos at the time as well. And it was like the hip hop genre hitting, the free jazz drums and everything. Man, it just it just hit. Like I'm listening to it now, and I'm getting goosebumps thinking back at the time when I first heard it. And yeah, man. So I don't mean to prattle on, but it's a very big thing to me. And the fact that the guy that created this piece passed away at a young age, it's sad, but you know, that's life.
So tell me what I want to know. So when this genre was created, and I guess there was a fracture of, you know, where the community, you know, started this, there was a divide forming. So because that lane started going and more people started, or people, not saying because that other vibe was still strong too, but there were people like
it's
that
still
were
strong
like
today, both vibes, yeah,
right.
But there was definitely a divide in the people that went out. Like,
what was that like being a part, like seeing it from the beginning of, was it grittier than like was the jungle scene grittier than the like the house scene? Was it like more so the more hardcore people were going towards the jungle scene, or like how are the people like, because there's always different types of communities, like the one community perceives the other community a different way. How were the two communities perceived against one another?
It was like the jungle scene was more like me. It was more like jeans and trainers and t-shirts, and let's go out. We all looked fresh, and it was all good jeans, trainers, and t-shirts. We went, and the house scene was more button-up shirts, trousers, and people like it was. I had to explain it really. Jungle was gritty. You went to a jungle rave, you were going to get sweaty. The place was like, do you know, like when you watch, the best way to explain it, if you've seen The Matrix, when they go back to, is it Zion?
Mm-hmm.
And there's the big party going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's jungle. House was more disco and club.
Yeah, you're putting on your nice clothes and you're picking up women. I'm not saying
you're not going to a jungle rave to pick up women.
Yeah,
it happened there.
You're not?
No,
you're not going to a jungle rave.
You are, but it's more like house and then stuff was more like the singles bars, you know, like the singles clubs and that. Whereas you was raving in there, and it was more athletic and more. You were going, it's, you know what I mean? It's not, it was like when you went to the house and garage scene, it become more. I've got a Gucci sweater on, and I'm looking good, and I've got my bottle of Cristal. Yeah.
No, I feel you.
When you went to the jungle scene, you had a Budweiser, and you was fucking, there was beer flying.
No,
Like
I
it,
understand exactly.
yeah.
I was here, but what I'm saying is that when you said you weren't there, I mean, come on, man.
I mean, I
Go
wasn't
any place to
personally.
go
No.
dance. Not you personally, of course. I
Mm,
got you because you were
mm,
with your significant other, right? But
yeah.
I was just trying to understand that, like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Because music
Yeah.
and sex go together. I mean, let's just say it.
Yeah.
I mean, from at least for me, that's what my experience. Uh, yeah.
If my friends were going out to pick up chicks, they wouldn't go to a jungle rave. They would go
Was
to
it
the
more a
house.
sausage
They,
fest than a jungle rave? Was there more
no,
like
no,
dudes?
it
Was
was
there
more.
equal ratio of women to men at a jungle scene?
No, it was still the same, but it was. I can't put my finger on it.
So it was equal parts guys to
You
girls
can't
at the jungle
hear.
scene,
You can't talk to someone and then hear you at a jungle rave.
but you can feel somebody at a jungle rave.
Yeah, exactly. And while you're at the house thing, you're sliding up. You're sliding up there like Nelly, and you're going, "Hey, baby girl," and it is the players' club. You know what I mean? It's.
I
Do you know
understand
what I
what
mean?
you're saying. No, I
Yeah,
understand. I'm
yeah,
taking the piss out of you because it's like, what do
yeah.
you mean you're not trying to pick up on girls there? No. So I'd have just been like, excuse me.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of that going on. And plus, the dances were better, you know. Like there was more twerking going on the jungle road than it was in a house. You know what I mean? It was a lot of like the Jamaican influences, the sound system and the sound clash element was in the jungle raves. Whereas the other thing would be like you're watching Boney M. You know what I mean? It was the
No,
completely two sides of the thing. Like,
no, I mean that's what I was trying to get to. It was more let your hair down and be you
yeah,
rather than in comparison. And I feel you. It's like going to the neighborhood bar here and it's the neighborhood scene where they have music and people are dancing and
mm,
you are you got a pair of nice jeans on, nice
mm,
shirt or whatever, and some shoes, but you're
mm.
not going downtown and putting on a
Yeah.
suit or putting on a tuxedo and
There's
dancing
not going
and
to be a
all of that.
snotty bouncer there going, you can't come in because you're not got the right
Mhm.
stuff
Right,
on. It was
exactly.
like, come in and come and get in quick. Like it was more get you in
Mhm. Yeah,
than
so and that's cool.
yeah.
And
But
you
it
said
was
so it was super loud though too. So you
yeah.
guys
I would
that
lay in bed after
big systems.
massive systems, like the proper, like I was saying, getting back to it again, the sound systems you'd get in Jamaica with the massive speakers, like when they used to
That go
come out,
boom? Like I asked
they they
Mikey,
go
like,
they go more boom, yeah.
they go
With
more
us, it was more
boom.
the bass and rattling our chests, like and getting that feeling and
Yes.
laying in bed the next morning with your ears ringing. That's you'd be laying there thinking, oh man, stop ringing my ears. I need some sleep. No, it'd be like that. It's been an experience. Yeah, yeah,
Very cool. I love
yeah.
that. So
And any see like the shit you'd be wearing, you train as your kicks, and you would be fucked.
yeah.
You're one and
Oh
done.
yeah.
Them trainers are one and done. Like you'd put in your Reeboks and you'd go there, and you might as well bin them the next day or wear them for work. Like they're gone. Like
You know the
because
shoes
you'd
that
have
I
we were talking to C about it, weren't we? There'd be condensation dripping from the ceilings.
yeah, it
Like
was in
and
grimy spots.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We were in places that weren't designed to have 5,000 people in.
There were no safety. They're
No,
definitely not.
I remember being on scaffolding, actual scaffolding at one place across a dance floor, and it was just like scaffolding from a construction site up there. And I remember walking across it, and it was shaking so much
So you
that
weren't up there dancing. You were
you were
you
keeping your
just walk.
balance. There were so many people dancing, the whole thing was shaking, and you were keeping your balance. And it was an accident waiting to happen. The thing
Oh my
collapsing
god.
was
I
like
wouldn't have
waiting
been
to
up
happen.
there for like, fuck that.
I wasn't up there for long, that's for sure. Yeah,
You
that's
were
for
like, I'm gonna
sure.
go up there and dance. No, I'm not.
No, I'm not. No, exactly. No,
Never
I'm not.
mind. I like the
Yeah,
floor.
never mind. Gravity's not my friend. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
But
Oh,
yeah, so I'd just like to pay respects to him. That's why I wanted to bring it up today. Like,
rest in
and
peace, Lenny, man.
big influence in the music that I listened to, whether he knew it or not. And my whole, not my whole generation, a large part of my generation, um, it molded what we was listening to and what we was going out to and the attitudes we had. And I might be looking at it with rose-colored glasses as well, but it was a lot of like backgrounds, a lot of different backgrounds together, and we didn't give a fuck. There wasn't no um race there. It was just us unifying under a scene. It sounds really hippy dippy, but it was. It really
No,
was.
I mean, that's what I think. Also, what was beautiful about the hip hop scene and my
Mm,
experience in that, right? And you had a lot of people that came from a lot of different experiences and backgrounds, right?
yeah.
Some good, some not so good, some
Mm,
not so even gooder, you know, and some not goody at all, you know. And for the majority of the time when the hip hop and the music communities got together, right? And during that time, it was very dangerous. We already talked about
yeah.
guns and shit. I mean, guns and shit existed back then. And it was very, I mean, Pac and Biggie died, got shot, you know, and not they weren't the only ones that got shot and you know what I mean? They're
Mm,
just the ones that everybody still talks about the most. But there wasn't the bullshit, and people were there for
mm,
the music, and when people were there for the music and they were genuinely, that's when people let their guard down, and that's when people and friendships were formed between people that would never ever have a
yeah.
relationship or any would even think about even wanting to have an attachment to someone, but because you had an experience and bonded over something as powerful as music, and music is the most powerful thing in my opinion out there. I mean, they're using sound as weapons now and have figured that out, how to weaponize sound,
Mhm.
and there's more of that coming. uh there it it's just so powerful. And
I get what you're saying. I 100% get what you're saying. But sometimes I'm thinking back now as we're talking about this, and sometimes it did feel like the Warriors getting home because a lot of these places would happen in parts of town where we're not from,
mhm.
and we're in parts of town where we're not welcome. So it was like sometimes getting home was like Warriors when we was on the tube getting from station to station, and people would get on you think, oh fuck, and we'd have to get ready. But it was never like. But when we were there and we were in the places, it was 90% cool. You know,
Mhm.
there's always an element of fucking people that want to ruin it for everyone else, but it
But
was.
that's what
I
makes it
enjoyed
fun.
it. I enjoyed the shit out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Mm.
And that was that. It was always my challenge to I think what was always cool about it was is I had the opportunity because, you know, me being the DJ, or I was at least in charge of sound, or, you know, whatever. I was I had a reason to be there, and people either had the ability to appreciate what I did
Mm.
or they didn't appreciate what I did. You know what I mean? But there was more appreciation than not because I was accepted and welcomed back and
Yeah.
hey, you know.
Mm.
So, but it was cool that I had those experiences, and that's why I always encourage anyone to find what it is that you are passionate about. get immersed in that community and go over to the person that looks or acts or thinks completely different than you and start playing the game that you like or whatever the thing it is that you like doing, start doing that and talking to them. And then all of a sudden you're going to be like, holy shit, you and I are the same. I would have never thought this. Oh, you feel the
Yeah.
same way I feel about this? For real? You know?
Yeah, 100%. It's
Word, Birdie.
it's like I've made a conscious decision over the last few years to say hello to people,
Yeah, you have to.
and I wasn't doing that, and I'm missing out on so much.
Mm-hmm.
And since I've started doing that, I'm now sitting here in this chair talking to you and people on the internet that I've become friends with who I've never met.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't have happened. I'd have still just been marching along with my head down and keeping myself in my little bubble and just keeping on. And through music, I've made this conscious decision to say, "Hello, Ghost Boogie. I'm Danny Chaz. I like your mixer, After Sport One. What do you think?" And then that's the first time me and you ever spoke. Like, and now we're sitting here. Now
I
we've
thought you
got.
didn't have your mixer yet.
I didn't. No.
No, you were asking me
I was
about it.
thinking about
Yeah.
buying it, and I didn't even know you had that mixer. I said, "Have you heard about these new?" I went into your stream.
Mm.
Yeah, first time I met you. I went into your stream. It wasn't the first time I'd seen you on Twitch. It was the first time I'd been in your stream, and it was just me there.
Mm.
And I was very early to the party, and I said, "Oh, well, I've got you on your own. I'm looking at this new Mark mixer. What do you think?" And you went, "I'm using it, fam," and turned your camera down. And you said, "It's very good, blah, blah, blah. No finger blasting the select button, the shift button."
Don't finger blast any of them because I let another story.
Mm.
Anyway.
But that's, and we bonded through equipment and music. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now 2 years, maybe 3 years later, we're sitting here now talking to each other on a podcast that we've decided to put together and done work for and been talking about it for 2 days, what we're going to say and when we're going to say it. We've planned it and done production to it, and we're enjoying it, enjoying each other's company and everything else. And that's all through me saying, I'm going to say hello to people that I wouldn't say hello to. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, I mean, again, that all goes to the simple fact that the energy you put out is the energy you receive.
Yeah.
Unchained. Shit. Well,
he's my biggest fan and my biggest troll.
Speaking of finger blasting things, I know you had this really big obsession about finger blasting Barbra Streisand. I'm just playing. No, Barbra Streisand, yo, like.
So we got into this conversation, didn't we, the other day, and we thought we're going to bring this topic up. So I was talking about clones and what we thought about the technology that's going on these days with cloning.
Yeah.
And how did we get there? Oh, Avril Lavigne. We heard a story that is it Avril Lavigne?
Yeah, Avril Lavigne, right?
Is a clone.
Yeah, and so we're back. We're
just talking shit. I think
you've been
smoking. I'm drinking. Yeah,
and yeah, you were like trying to go to bed and shit from work. And
shit, yeah, it's about 1 a.m. Yeah,
yeah, but you're scrolling through the later, and you was like, Avril Lavigne is cloned, and I was like, what? And like that stopped my old train of thought, and like, of course, threw a monkey wrench in my shit. I was like, who in the fuck even would waste money on, like, is Avril Lavigne that important? Yeah. What is Avril Lavigne got going on that they are out here worrying about wanting to clone her in the first fucking place? Like, what? Like, Avril Lavigne, what?
I mean, if you got a cloner, give her a better skin. Girl struggles, you know. she struggles with her skin. You know,
What you
she's
mean by
pimple
that?
city. You know.
What? I don't know that.
Yeah, she struggles with her. She always has from a little girl. Struggles, yeah, with her acne.
Did you
Yeah,
just see like what's that bullshit ass that acne medicine that they were selling on
like the
TV all the
Oxy-10
time?
or whatever.
Not the what was it? It was
Clearasil.
no, because look, Diddy said something that made me want to punch him forever on that commercial. He was like, when you got to moisturize your situation. It's like I think it was called Proactive or some shit.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
was like, I was like, no Diddy then. But it didn't have to do anything with sexuality. It was just no Diddy. But
what do you think about Diddy's cover of Public Enemy #1? Like from the start, not how you feel about it now, but the first time you heard it.
the same amount of disdain and hate. Like I hated the fact that it showed up at my doorstep. I hated the fact that
You had
it
it as part of the street team package.
yeah. I still have the piece of shit over there. I thought about look, here's the thing, when Mikey said a piece of vinyl for your collection, I dead ass was like the
Was that
thought
the
in my
one?
mind. No, it was going to be all of my promotional Diddy. I was just gonna hand him a crate full of
Really?
nothing but Diddy promotional shit just to fuck with him. But then I thought about it. I was like, this shit might be worth. Hold on, man.
That's gonna be
I was
worth,
like,
yeah.
that's the baby's college fund I might be handing over,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I
But I
think you
did
might
give
be,
him
yeah.
but I did give him, I'm giving him an iconic piece of wax. I'm giving him, a sealed copy of Tila Show Nuff featuring 8 Ball and MJG. It is the strip club twerk team anthem. I mean, like
Ratchet.
very much so. Very much so. I put it up. It's not sitting right there. I put it, I got it in the ready spot. But anyway,
So we was talking about that, weren't we? We was talking about Avril Lavigne getting cloned.
Avril Lavigne being cloned, and then you said just like Barbra Streisand's dogs, right? I was like, what?
Yeah. Barbra Streisand clones her dogs, yeah.
So let me tell you my experience with Barbra Streisand. My mother loves, I mean, fucking loves Barbra Streisand. So I grew up listening to Barbra Streisand. Like when my mom was cleaning the house, she'd be bumping like Streisand and shit. And there was one track that I loved that she would play was off the soundtrack or the album that she did with Barry Gibb or Andy Gibb. I can't remember which Gibb it was. It's the main Gibb with the big teeth. Shabba Shaw. You know that motherfucker.
You
He
make
talks
me
like he has.
feel like dancing.
Nah, this dude when he talks, he's like, I got wooden teeth in my. I'm gonna have
Yeah.
wooden teeth in my mouth. Anyway,
Them Gibb boys, they were a bit funky looking, weren't they?
oh yeah, they were funky looking. They were funky music, but she
I
did
mean,
a
they were all
song.
brothers, and I won't be surprised if the mum and dad were brother and sister.
Yeah, they had good hair, but
Yeah.
she did a song and it was like Guilty on that album, right? And it was like we got nothing to be guilty of.
Oh
Our love.
yeah, that's a good song.
To climb any mountain. That song right there, man. Like my mom would bump that nonstop. And
That's
I
a good
remember
song.
just as a kid, that was like, oh shit. And then she was on the soundtrack to they just remade it with the dude that was in the one with where what is it? Bachelor Party. They go to Vegas.
Tom Hanks.
No, not the name of the movie, but it's where they have a bachelor party. The guy has a baby and
Hangover?
shit. The Hangover, right? He's
Yeah.
the one of the guys in The Hangover, right? He just redid that movie with old girl with the big nose too, that Lady Gaga.
I was going to say Bette Midler, but yeah, Lady Gaga.
That movie that they just did together where they were singing and shit. It was the country western movie. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
I mean,
that's a
I've not seen the
remake.
movie, but I've seen
It's a
previews.
remake
Yeah.
of Chris Christopherson and Barbara Streisand movie, and I cannot believe because my mother watched that shit nonstop. She loved that movie. Like either way, that's the damn shit. So I have a lot of history. A Star Is Born. Thank you, Becca Boo. Jeez, Pete's. Woo. So that was the other soundtrack or movie and stuff. Like, she was attached to everything huge. So I knew all about Barbara Streisand.
Yeah, she
I
was
didn't
around
know
for a
this.
minute. She
Oh my God.
yeah, she
My
was in
mom went to
everything for a
Vegas
little
this
while.
year. My
Mm.
mom saw, yeah, man. Well,
Yeah.
she was in the other thing. She was in what was huge, Fiddler on a Roof. Like every Thanksgiving and holiday,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
they would play Fiddler on the Roof on
Mm.
TV, and like our family, extended family, would all gather around a television and get in the room and watch that together. Like, you know what I mean? So and she was
I
the
love the
main.
I Was a Rich Man.
That I was trying not to fucking sing that, and because you
Yeah, I
always
know.
call me RSO Boogie, but that's my shit.
If
I
I
sing
was a
that to my
rich man.
kids.
Oh, vai.
All day long, I diddy dum. If I was a wealthy man, hey,
Wouldn't have to work hard.
motherfucker, I got that shit. Anyway, you
Yeah.
got me going on it.
That's a good song as well.
Yes.
But I
I
like
mean,
a musical. You don't like a musical. Yeah, I
I
like a
hate
good musical.
musicals, but I
Yeah.
do like that one. But no, my musicals are
Mm.
extra, man. Musicals are extra, man. Like people are just all jazzy hands, and like the way I feel about musicals is Team America sums it up at the very beginning when they do their take on Rent. Like everyone's got AIDS, 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 AIDS,
Yeah.
AIDS, AIDS. You know what I mean? That shit, that's musicals. That's how I feel about musicals. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like no one unless you're RSO Boogie, you just don't break out into random songs at random times.
I like a musical. I like going to the theatre and seeing a musical.
I don't, man. It gets on
Yeah,
my
I do.
fucking nerves.
I see
It's too
Cats. Cats
happy.
is good.
How did you do that?
What, see Cats?
I took one for the team and sat through Dirty Dancing from my wife, the musical.
You're going to the wrong musicals. I see Matilda. That was a good musical.
I saw Little Whorehouse in Texas.
There you go. What did you think of Joker, that musical? With
I
Big
haven't
Nose?
seen it yet.
Yeah, man. You're gonna have mixed feelings. You're gonna have mixed feelings about that.
Is it free on Max yet? Because that's the only way I'm gonna see that shit. I'm not gonna go pay for the.
You can
Did you
watch it
see
on
it?
your. You got a stick. What are you talking about?
I got you. I do got the
a
magic stick.
you got a cheater box. Yeah.
I can make you got come once, but maybe you.
I watched it on my cheater box, and
it's
liked
horrible,
it.
isn't it?
I liked it
because you like musicals.
I like musicals, but I also like the way they've done it like that. I mean, the whole time he's in Arkham. The 90% of the movie is in Arkham, and it's what's in his mind.
Just like the taxi cab ride at the end.
Exactly, and it's what he's seeing and the way he's seeing things. So it fits. It is a bit too much. It is a bit too much. Like after a while, I'm like, for fuck's sake, yeah, I get it. You know, like it becomes a bit too much. But I liked it.
I'll tell you so when I say my first few vinyls were like, I always say Stevie Wonder, but I don't always mention the Grease. Is like Grease was the other one. Like there's a Sesame Street album, Grease, Songs of Key of Life, Stevie Wonder. Those were the first
Grease is
three.
some bullshit.
Nah, man, Grease is the word. Haven't you heard? It's got move, it's got groove, it's got feeling, man.
See, when I was growing up,
What? Don't you talk shit on Grease up here on my TV screen, man.
When I was coming up, the girls liked Grease and the boys liked Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers was amazing.
That's a musical.
I know, and I used to want to be John Belushi. I had an obsession with John Belushi until he died, and they told me it was from cocaine.
Damn.
And look, Unchained was obsessed with Grease, man. See,
it was hand driving all around the place.
I mean, born to hand job, baby. But I always thought like the one that was.
But we know what. We know what
cream.
That song's about the putting your wickedy woo on your whoopty wop.
Exactly, like that Grease Lightning song. That was my shit, right? I would sing that. I was like 2-3 years old, running around, jumping off my bed, talking about the chicks will cream. Didn't even know what that meant. But I was a little ratchet boogie even before. And I was always like, and just think about it when the engine's lowered and they're clapping. Just that's a perfect thing for twerking now to make it clap.
In the chat over there, Kelly, you should see his knob. Chaz says she knows Grease word for word. And
Kelly, you're good peoples.
I don't like Grease. I couldn't get into Grease. That's the one I couldn't get into. But I like John Travolta.
What do you think about John Travolta as Disco Santa Claus? Have you seen his new he's Santa Claus now. He's a Disco Santa Claus.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in.
Hell yeah, man. Well, I mean, Grease is the shit, so it's too legit to quit. But speaking about quitting, it's almost that time. But
oh man, that went quick.
I mean, the thing that I need to talk to you about, Danny, is that, man, you ain't gonna believe this shit here, man. I found some fucked up shit to end on, man. Woo wee. So
what more fucked up than Barbara Streisand cloning 2 of her dogs?
Actually, let me do this.
One's called Miss Violet and one's called Miss Scarlet.
Miss Fire?
One's called Miss Violet and the other one's called Miss Scarlet, and they're clones of her original dog. And Simon Cowell's thinking about doing it.
I thought you were talking about premature ejaculation. Huh? That's a misfire.
Miss Violet.
I thought you said misfire.
Oh, Miss Violet.
I heard something else because I'm a disgusting human.
You're a despicable human being.
I am.
I've always known it about you.
Don't you change anybody's opinion about me either. I have a reputation to
would you clone your dog? If your dog had gone through its cycle and it was time for old Yellow to
my dog, the dog that I would if I had the opportunity to clone the dog that I had that passed away before the one that I had, 100%. If I had the money to do that, if I had the means, if I had the abilities to do that and get that dog back, even with his health conditions, and if I had to do it again and do it all over again, I would 100% take that dog back. I miss that dog every day. I grieve that dog every day. I can understand why she did it. Yes, it is a weird practice. And yes, it is fucking crazy that here in 2024, and that was happening even back then, that's happened probably about 5-6 years ago, that she was talking and has been doing that. I know I like to make it weird, but I would do that. I would just do that. But we're talking about how commonplace cloning is.
Well, Barbara Streisand can get it done, and there's been other celebrities that have done it. Simon Cowell wants to do it with his dog because he's heard about Barbara's dog.
Would you do it? Did you ever have a pet that you could go back and
I've
clone?
got one now that I would
that you clone?
I've got a pet right now that I would never want to not have. And I'd also clone it because he looks tasty. I'd eat the clone.
So you have two. You have like one to eat and
one for eat and one to pet. Yeah.
Would you
like
pet
some Korean bar?
Would you pet the one that survived while you ate the one that you fucking killed?
Don't tell me what one it is.
Would you feed the other one to it? Like, here try this, you fucker.
That's fucked up. Yeah.
You Hannibal Lecter of pets. Now you just made it Silence of the Pets, Danny. What the fuck? Yes, Clarice.
I would definitely clone Becca Boo and have her on Sundays. The clone. Imagine 2 Beccas. Oh yeah.
I look like the screen painting now. Fucking emancipated. Becca. Becca, don't let him come to Oklahoma. Don't meet this man in person. This seems unhealthy. This seems very unhealthy, Becca.
I'm getting hungry now. It's like when we had the food conversations.
I smell fucking my wife is making something amazing.
Kelly bought me Chinese food and brought it in. That's lovely.
Did she put poop in it like I asked her to?
Could have. It was cool. I didn't mind. It was all good.
Kelly, because he doesn't like grease, I hope that is enough of a catalyst to sway my argument.
Well, Kelly was walking the dog and she could smell Chinese food, so she went and bought it. So maybe she, subliminal.
Maybe that egg roll wasn't so eggy at all. Kat, are you sure that these egg rolls are all right? They're fresh? Yeah, Daddy, they're fresh. Yeah. Some extra duck sauce for you, Daddy. Shit. Speaking of doing something disgusting and pathetic, though, Kelly, that's not disgusting and pathetic. That is awesome if you were to food poison Danny for me. But that's another story. Danny, check this out, bro.
What you got?
Man, shocking story of a couple using a dead fly to get out of bills, bro. The ex-user posted how the couple carries a dead fly with them to the restaurant, add it to their meals to avoid paying the bills. An ex-user took to the microblogging platform to share a disturbing story about a middle-aged couple. He shared how the couple carries a dead fly with them to the restaurant and add it to their meals to avoid paying the bills. Since being posted, the share has gained significant attention. Several people took to the comments section to share their reactions on it. Bendari wrote, met a middle-aged woman couple at a party who revealed something quite disgusting. Apparently, it's something they do for fun, as they don't seem tight on money. They have on several occasions gone out to dine at 5-star restaurants and carried with them a dead fly. Yes, a dead fly. He further added, halfway into their meal, they would quietly slip this into their food and then create a huge fuss over it. The management, in a bid to placate them, would either not charge for that dish or, in most cases, make their entire meal free. They were proud to share this hack for getting a free fucking meal and said they've done it on many occasions, those miserable twats. Since June 25th, they gained close to 2,000 views. What's your thought on this, Danny? Like, have you ever, like, even Have you ever known anybody to even do any shit
My
close like that?
my mum and dad had some friends they'd go meals with often, and one of them's not with us. So like they're older. They're an older couple. One of them's passed away now, sadly. Fucking rest in peace, John. And they would be sitting at a meal, and they'd be in like really good restaurants. So like my father like a good business, and it was his friend who he was in business with, and they started going to all like Michelin star restaurants. They would make it a thing that each at least once a month they would go to a good restaurant. And every now and then, the guy's wife would just scream mid meal. There'd be like she'd be screaming. She'd just go "Ah!" and scream like this, and then the cause a commotion. The waiters would run over, and the maitre d' would run over. What's the problem? What's the problem? And she would swear blind that a rat had just run across her foot and start causing a commotion. And
Oh God.
no one's ever seen this rat. She would even keep
Nor
it up.
would you.
She would even keep the story up with the people she's out with at the table. Yeah. And the amount of free
So traumatize them too, like
the amount of free meals they got and return visits and come back another time and things they got out of it. And this woman
holy
was
shit.
she would sell it. She would sell it like, but she would even like she would say like, oh yeah, and people would go to them, this is like the 10th time this has happened to you now, like 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 she would still maintain to her circle that it actually happened, like when it clearly hadn't, like yeah. Rats.
I mean, so I
Still two of my favorite people in the world though. That John's no longer with us, and he's I'm not going to say his wife, but like good people, good fun people to be around.
that is hilarious though, man. That so I can tell you that I had at one of my jobs that I worked at back in the day when I worked at the seventh layer of hell, starting off in a customer service job, uh, working at a call center and dealing with insane ass people and schedules and all of this shit. There, you only had like, a little bit of time for break. You had to get back and get, back on the fucking grind at it. And there was a McDonald's, man, like right next to the spot. So that's a lot of time where a lot of people ate anything that was, and they further opened up Chipotle and all of that stuff. It was all gold mine. But this McDonald's, man, I saw it happen in front of me. And I saw it happen in front of me on multiple occasions. And they were people that were working around me and I knew personally. This one guy, and he was the first one, opened up his Egg McMuffin to put on his jelly or whatever the hell he was going to put on his Egg McMuffin. And there was a dead fly cooked into the egg part of the Egg McMuffin. And it wasn't just laid on top, it was cooked into it, bro. Like it was cooked into it. And this dude flipped his shit, and he fucking like he didn't work half his shift because man. But shortly 2 weeks thereafter, this was the sister, man. She bit into her sandwich, and in the folded egg was a big ass spider. And she had bitten into half of it and was like, looked like, bro, like this fucking place had to have been intentionally putting food like insects in their food or just had a horrible problem, like, you know, and these people ended up suing them and shit, man.
I remember my friend Tucker, yeah, he's a Sikh guy I used to work with, carpenter, and we'd meet and go and have breakfast. And we'd go into this cafe, and this Italian-owned cafe down the road from the job site. And we were sitting in there one day, and he's eating all the foods he shouldn't. You know, like he's got he's got like a big plate of like English breakfast, like everything on there. I remember we're sitting there one day, and he just sat there and he went, "Oh my God, what the fuck is this?" And there was a razor blade underneath the fried egg, like a proper sharp razor blade. And he got angry about it. What the fuck, like this, like caused a commotion. And this old Italian lady that was working the grill came over and she see it in his plate. And she went, "Oh, thank you. I've been looking for that." Took it off his plate, put it back on the end of the spatula, and started scraping the the grill. But she didn't even bat an eyelid. No apologies, no nothing. It was just, "Oh, I've been looking for that," and picked it out of his food. And he's just sitting there now looking at this plate. Like, and
Did he get another plate or did he just
ah,
eat it?
it's
He
just
didn't ask the old lady
yeah,
for
well,
he
he was
sucked it
waiting
up.
for
He's like,
another plate, but they weren't selling it. The people there were just just completely no selling him with it. And
well, go ahead, you fucker, eat.
yeah, well, eat your breakfast. Like, they went like, yeah, completely no sold him.
Yeah, it's like,
I'm sitting there
what's your
laughing
problem?
my ass off. Yeah, exactly. I'm sitting there laughing my ass off. You
Yeah, the
pulled a
whole
razor
Danny,
blade out of
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. It wasn't me, but I saw it on the counter. It
But the
wasn't me.
lady
It
went,
was
"Yeah,
under my fried egg. It wasn't me. Sorry, go ahead.
this old Italian lady. I've been looking for that." Boom, just whipped it out of his egg and put it back in the thing.
I would have, dude. I think that'd have been a time that I had a tough time containing from pissing myself. Like I'd have been like,
I would start
I would have
laughing.
fell on the floor. I'd have probably lost my breath for sure. Like I can't breathe. Like, what did you do? Were you laughing or were
I couldn't
you?
stop laughing. I was in hysterics. So yeah, I just couldn't stop laughing.
Did you
It was
look
the
for a
fact
razor
that
blade in yours?
so there was a shock at first because when I looked at the first plate, the razor blade, I'm thinking, is it malicious? Did they want him to bite into it? You know, like I'm thinking that.
Oh,
At
I
first.
know. I'm freaking out too.
I'm thinking that at first, and then when the lady went, "Oh, I've been looking for that," and just whipped it out of his egg and stuck it back in her thing and carried on as if nothing happened. That was it. I was dying. I was because it's an innocent mistake, which could have been a horrible mistake. And yeah, man, I was in
Well,
bits.
with me trying to reason it out, I was like, I bet in me working that fucking grill at McDonald's and having my fair share of razor blade. I was like, I bet you that was the griddle. That's crazy though, man. Like I know I wouldn't have immediately associated it with it. I'd have definitely been grossed out and not ate that egg. Would you have ate the egg?
If I ate eggs, I would have. Yeah, yeah.
I would not because I know how dirty and disgusting that fucking
Is
razor
she
blade
cleaning the
is.
grill that eggs just come from?
Yeah, and that razor blade is what she uses to clean all of the nasty stuff, and it's already loose. And think about she's not cleaned that razor blade. And does she clean the razor blade after
I
she
don't know.
cleans the grill?
No,
No.
she shaves with it and then carries on. Yeah, I don't know.
So I'm
Yeah.
saying, like, I definitely like, look,
Nah,
man.
it 3 second rule, man.
Do you think it was more than 3 seconds that bitch was underneath it cooked underneath it was marinated and infused with that razor blade funk. If the razor blade funk is the name of this episode, because that right there, man, eating razor blade funk, like that is some bullshit. There's no way in hell, Danny, that I would ever in my motherfucking life. I don't care if they were mob people. I'm leaving. if I'm not allowed to say anything, I'm getting up, like, and I'll even pay if I'm gonna get killed by the mob. I'll be like, here's your money, fam. I'm out. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want none of this smoke. Let me go buy a motherfucking McGriddle. Like, no.
You've had worse.
I know I've had worse, but I'm not gonna knowingly eat razor blade funk.
I'd like to have licked it and found out what it tastes like. Because it's all them good foods that they're cleaning on that grill. All them good foods have been on there before it, you know. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't have paid it any mind. I would have probably just carried on.
You really, honestly, like?
Yeah, it's a clean place, man. Like this place. There's places that I wouldn't
bullshit,
have.
Danny.
Yeah,
well, I guess you ate your food.
Yeah, I carried on. Yeah, I did about an eyelid. Yeah. Maybe we're not as delicate over in England. I don't know.
No, you didn't. Just call me delicate, motherfucker. No, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna eat a razor blade funk infused egg that came from a funky ass griddle, probably from old girl that shit has got generational grease.
Oh yeah, that's been there. That's not that's probably a one and only razor blade she's ever owned.
Every person that got murdered and killed in that fucking establishment after hours, all of their souls are all on that razor blade funk that he just ingested, and he carries.
I want to hear that song there, Razor Blade.
That trauma is now infused in his DNA, and he's carrying that on to his seed, son. Know what I mean? Word God, razor blade funk.
Razor blade. The bass lines of razor blade funk is the right stuff. Boom, 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 boom. Boom,
nah,
boom,
it's gritty and grimy.
Nah, boom, boom, boom,
you
boom,
are see.
Boom, boom, boom.
You just trying to trigger the fuck out of me, and my dinner's done, and it smells delicious, and I'm ending this fucking episode on Razor Blade Funk. Hey, look, I hope y'all had a good time with this. I had a good time. This is Blurred Reality Weekly. We are taking off next week because I will be definitely blurred, definitely reality. Well, here's the thing, though. So check this out, Danny. I ain't gonna lie. If I do this shit in the morning and I get back at a time that's reasonable for you to be awake, we might just go fucking live. Because I like to go live after I'm anesthetized and say bad things. So check y'all out.
We'll find out if he really would eat from that razor blade.
Razor blade funk, motherfucker. I just hope it's not as painful as everybody says it's gonna be. So whatever. Fuck it. It is what it is, and it's all that it is.
I want to do a pop up on another day. Just let me know. I'm here.
Hell yeah. So I'm Ghost Boogie.
I'm dannychaz.
We're Blurred Reality Weekly. And thank you.
Thank you very much. We out.
Y'all split.
Bye-bye.
Ta-ta, motherfucker.